Continuous earthquakes leave tourist island empty and residents uneasy. Thousands of earthquakes, sometimes every few minutes, have rocked Santorini, Greece. More than 13,000 of its 15,500 residents have been displaced. February is a quiet time on the Greek island of Santorini, which draws more than 3 million visitors each year. But after a week of near-constant earthquakes, the island has been eerily quiet. At least 13,000 of the island's 15,500 residents, alarmed by the frequent tremors, have fled in the past week. The streets are largely deserted, save for a few tourists, most of them from Asia. Thousands of earthquakes, sometimes every few minutes, have rocked Santorini, about 150 miles southeast of Athens, and nearby islands since January 25th. The initial tremors peaked with a magnitude 5.2 quake on Wednesday northeast of Santorini. A magnitude 5 quake was felt in Athens on Sunday night, and then a magnitude 5.3 quake struck the same area on Monday night. Most of the quakes were relatively small, but there were 160 quakes of more than magnitude 4 in the first 9 days of February, compared with 90 of the same magnitude all of last year. Vasilis Korostathis, director of the Geodynamics Institute at the National Observatory of Athens, said on Monday. The outlook for Santorini, one of Greece's most popular islands, remains uncertain. Experts say it is impossible to make reliable predictions about what will happen next from the tremors. There are signs of stabilization, but we need to see a further decrease in the frequency of earthquakes to be sure, Mr. Korostathis said, adding that the tremors could continue for weeks. A lot of seismic energy has been released, but we still cannot rule out the possibility of a major earthquake. The quake prompted authorities to close schools and ban large indoor gatherings. Emergency workers have been deployed to the island, and landing craft have been on standby for possible evacuations. Parts of Santorini have been closed off because of landslide concerns, and sandbags have been placed next to beachfront homes. Psychologists from the Greek Red Cross have been counseling worried residents, and priests have held prayers for the earthquake to stop. After a state of emergency was declared Thursday to ensure aid could be delivered quickly, Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis said all possible measures were being taken. "We are preparing for the worst and hoping for the best," he said during a visit to the island on Friday, urging residents to remain calm. Many are choosing not to take any chances. Georgos Kalamatas, 37, who owns a business that organizes fireworks displays for weddings in Santorini, returned to his family home in Athens on Monday with his wife and 3 young children. "The constant shaking has made us nervous, and we are worried about the children," Mr. Kalamatas said, adding that he hoped to return next weekend. "We have to accept it. Others say they have no choice but to stay." Renia Bladaki, a 52-year-old makeup artist whose clients are mostly American, British or Australian brides who get married on the island, last week sent her 2 teenage children to stay with a relative in Athens. She stayed behind to look after her elderly aunt and uncle. For several days, she and her husband spent the night huddled under blankets as they slept in their car. "We were in one car, and my aunt and uncle were in the other," Ms. Bladaki said, adding that when the big quake hit, the car was rocking back and forth. Scientists say the fault line that triggered the current quake is different from the one that triggered the devastating 7.7 magnitude quake in 1956, which killed 53 people and caused widespread damage. The key question is whether the current quakes are a seismic swarm, a series of quakes without a clear main shock, or whether they are precursors to a larger quake of about magnitude 6. SR, said Mr. Korostathis.